Good afternoon, all. Welcome to our football show, The Big Game Players, with myself, Supa, and my co-host, Banjo.
Welcome everyone. Hello, Supa. How are you?
How we doing, Banjo?
Yeah, not bad. All good, thanks. Looking forward to the episode.
So, lot to go through today. Well, not as much as last time, but the big talking point. Let's talk about. Let's jump straight in. Let's start with the Champions League final.
Wow, what a game! Wow, I don't think any of us saw that coming.
Well, my 1-1 prediction was a little off the mark, I'd say.
Yeah,
Um,
well, you were surprised with my prediction, the 3-1 at the time. You thought, wow, 3 goals against an Italian team, but turned out to be five.
Well, my big thing, I mean, obviously PSG, fantastic performance on the night.
Yeah,
Some great individual performances out there as well.
yeah,
When we look at the game, um, from your end,
yeah.
is that the most complete Champions League final performance
I think
ever?
I think ever is a big thing because I'm not that old. No, it has been for the many years from memory. It was just a domination from the beginning to the end. It, while I was watching it, it brought memories back of the '94 final. I was watching that as a younger man or young as a boy rather, and the 4-0 with AC Milan against
Yeah,
Barcelona. I remember that was quite emphatic, and Barcelona had a great team at the time. Apparently, at the time they did with Stoichkov, Romario,
yeah,
and what
big
have
team,
you.
big players.
Yeah, and AC Milan destroyed them. But I cannot remember the game completely. I cannot remember if it was complete domination from the first minute to the end. I don't know, but yesterday certainly was that.
Without Gerrard's inspiring halftime team talk, that might have been how Istanbul ended up, right?
Yeah, well, the first half,
Yeah.
but it was certainly going that way. And I
And
won't
that
lie,
was a
I was hoping, but nah,
and
as
that was a
history
great
has it.
Milan team too, right? Back in 2005. Some fantastic players in that Milan
Oh,
team.
brilliant! Of course, yeah,
Um,
brilliant team.
but yeah, Paris last night. What stood out? Who stood out?
I think the obvious stood out. Obviously, Doué. He was man of the match. Fantastic player.
What a future that boy's got, eh?
Oh God, yeah. I think you're looking at now the future stars with people with the likes of Doué and Yamal at Barcelona as well. But really enjoyed his performance. Obviously, Varshilia as well. Is that how
Yeah.
you say it? The Georgian. he
But
he was
going
he
back to
never had his
Doué,
best game.
going back
Yeah.
to
Okay.
Doué, that
Yeah.
that presence of mind for the first
Yeah.
goal. A
Yeah.
lot of players would have had a what a wild swing at it.
Yeah.
Would have gone for goal.
It was just the composure of it. It was the composure of it to take that first touch, buy himself time,
Yeah.
absolutely composed, and just lay it on a plate for Hakimi, who came from right back, just to put it in the net. It was that simple that I was expecting an offside flag or something.
Yeah, well, it looked like that first, didn't it?
Yeah, it just looked too easy. Um, no,
Speaking of
brilliant.
that, so obviously DeMarco played the first ball onside,
Yes,
and well, torrid first half. Have you seen me? I
he had
mean,
a
yanked
shocker.
off at half time.
Well, yeah, because he turned his back for
Yeah,
Doué's goal, the second goal. So
yeah,
he obviously he had a hand negatively in both goals.
and normally a very good player. Obviously, DeMarco has been a good
Yeah,
performer for many years
yeah,
for Inter
yeah.
Milan.
I think you could see the frustration whilst he was sitting on the bench in the second half. He did look, whether he was probably annoyed with himself, if I'm honest. But yeah, he never had a good night.
Is there a better fullback in world football right now than Hakimi?
I don't think so, and I'm not just saying that off the back of yesterday's performance. I've been thinking that for a while. Um,
So, if I'm not
it's
mistaken, scored in the quarters, semis, and the
Yeah,
final.
yeah. But it's not just that; it's his general game as well. So tidy on the ball. He's great going forward as well, and I don't think he's too bad defensively either. But the
No,
thing is, he seems to find himself very high up, and opposing managers may think, "Oh, maybe we could exploit that." But no, the way PSG is set up and the way they cover him once it does go forward, he's just an asset. That teams can't get at him from it. But he's just brilliant going forward. And I think at this moment in time, he's probably the best fullback in the world. Yeah,
I think,
Dumfries as well is another one for Inter Milan, but on the night there was no contest.
yeah, I mean, the big thing with right back, obviously, as a Liverpool fan, we've looked at Trent and his certainly his contribution over the last sort of 8, 9 years in that Liverpool team and how many goals he sets up and what have you not. But there always
Yeah,
was that question mark about his defending, obviously.
yeah.
And yeah, Hakimi just doesn't seem to have as many question marks, certainly defensively,
No,
as Trent would have, but also very quick, very strong, very,
he's got it all.
yeah,
I
you
think with
know what I
Trent as
mean?
well, slightly different. Trent obviously has got the range of passing, which obviously Hakimi doesn't have at that
Yeah,
level. But as an attacking fullback, yeah, he's on another planet at the moment. But at the same time, the team is set up for him to be able to play to his strengths.
yeah.
Maybe um, the likes of Trent, maybe if he had been at PSG with their system, the way they like to play, maybe his defensive frailties wouldn't have been as well as obvious to see, maybe because he probably would have had cover. But no, Hakimi, fantastic.
So PSG, is that last night? That's a combination of years and years of billions spent by the
Yeah,
Qataris.
yeah,
It almost feels like project complete now. And I put on my socials today, Banjo. So on my socials today, I've actually gone out there and I've put the messages about how they've tried the superstars. They've been there. They've tried that with your Neymar's originally £200 million, whatever they spent on him. They've had the Messis. They've had the Mbappes. And is it now that these superstars have gone and it's become more of a team?
yeah. Um, Firstly, to start, where you say it's almost like project complete. Yes, but I actually think it's the start of something new.
Okay.
I think it's the start of something new. It's a young team. We could speak about that maybe a little later. But off the back of your question, it is more of a team. Of course, it is more of a team. I think there's probably less egos in this team. There's younger players who are probably more willing to do that running for the manager, to buy into what he wants. Because a lot of these players who you've named, um, the Messis, the Neymars, even go back to the Cavani or maybe Ibrahimovic, they've had more of a successful career prior to going to PSG. So they've already formed the Messis. I think I've said Messi, but they've already been. They've had. It's almost like they were going there at the end of their careers. Some of them, and they're already set in their ways. They've got the big egos, so they're not going to buy into do that extra running for this
But
new
that,
manager or anything.
but surely that doesn't apply to Mbappe.
Oh no, no, not with Mbappe. But I think he was the way he was projected to another level of the attention he was getting, and he was like the poster boy of PSG, the talisman. But it's almost like and a World Cup winner.
And it was almost like the Mbappe
So
show at stages, right? So is it he demands a ball, they always feel like they need to look for
yeah,
him.
yeah, exactly that. The ego was huge. The ego was huge. They were paying him astronomical money. He had a crazy contract. So it was almost like he was calling the shots there to a certain extent, and they were all catering for him towards
Well, a
him.
million a week. So
Yeah,
I
come
think
on.
there was a rumor to be somewhere around £1 million a
Yeah,
week.
yeah. But that doesn't having that. See, at Real Madrid, he won't get that. He'll obviously receive adulation in a certain way if he does produce and they win the Champions League or whatever they do. But he'll always be one of many, and that's not always talking about in the history of great players they've had. Even in the team he's at the moment, he won't be the one everyone is just catering for because they've got
Yeah.
other top players as well. But with PSG, it's seen and also as well, Real Madrid always go by the next one and the next one. So you become one of. So the ego thing there with PSG, it's almost like he thought I don't want to speak for him, obviously, because we don't know, but it seemed like he was almost like doing them a favour for being there at the end. I'm better than this. I'm better than this. You're paying me money, but I'm better than this. And that kind of attitude, or players with that frame of mind, if you have that in your team, it can be detrimental. But
some of these players are like Marquinhos been there many, many
well,
years.
that's exactly what I was going to say. He's seen it all. So
Yeah.
he's been there whilst they've had all these superstars, and obviously the global attention on these players. But now he's won his biggest prize in club football with this new team, with these younger players.
Nuno Mendes had a terrific
Oh yeah,
campaign
fantastic, fantastic.
in the tournament.
Yeah,
Vitinha, I mean,
outstanding.
a player that could have get into Wolves
Yeah, but did you
4 years ago.
his work for the third goal? Picks the ball up deep, carries it, plays a 1-2 with Dembele. Great back heel from Dembele. Carries it further up, finds a perfect weighted pass right in front of Doué. What a lovely finish.
And Dembele on the
Yeah.
night, very unselfish in his work. Enrique coming out and
Yeah.
I think championing him for the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, he's had a fantastic season. But that performance yesterday for Dembele, obviously you see the goal scorers. Everyone's talking about Doué's performance, the young lad, Mayala, getting the goal at the end, looking so ecstatic. Could believe it.
18-year-old, yeah, what a story that was. It was almost like he didn't know how to celebrate.
Yeah, he was just like he couldn't believe what was going on. But I love that innocence of it all. But obviously, like we've been speaking about Hakimi as well. But Dembele, the work he did yesterday for his team, he led the press from the front. And
so this is a player.
It was fantastic.
So we talk about Dembele, Banjo. So we're talking about a player who started off in France, went to Dortmund, had a terrific season at Dortmund.
Yeah.
Barcelona spent over 100 million for him to take him over to Spain. Was in and out. Obviously, he was in that Barcelona sort of team, and Messi was still there. Yeah. And but then even after he struggled a bit in and out.
He had an injury though as well, though, didn't he?
Injury,
he but an injury there.
I think a lot of what I've read there is late training, big attitude problem.
Okay.
Apparently, Mbappe, if I'm not mistaken, very, very good friends with him and wanted PSG to sign him.
Okay.
So he's gone, and it was even when Mbappe was there, there was issues when he was at PSG at the beginning, and he's seems to have clicked for him this season, right?
It seems like almost though the penny has dropped with him. There was an issue there with Enrique as well, wasn't he? Earlier in the season.
Yeah.
And everyone thought it just looked like his career at PSG was over. But they've seemed to clear that up, cleared any issue which they had there. That seems to be over with. But it's almost like the penny has dropped as well. He's done he's done a 180. He's gone the completely other way. Yeah. So
I think he scored the most goals across all of Europe since the new year. So he's come to form at the right time when they were going for this, Champions League. Because let's face it, that league is not, 9 times out of 10 they're going to walk that league, aren't they? Maybe has that stopped them in the past?
I think so. Because when not this season, obviously, but in the past, I think it's difficult when you're playing teams where you're beating them easily and you're expected to beat them easily, and then you win the league quite early on in the campaign, and it's obvious that you have won the league. It's then difficult to raise your level to play a Real Madrid, for example, or Liverpool, or because it's hard to switch it on and switch it off.
Especially when you're in a league where are you even playing 1 or 2 tough games a season?
Yeah, exactly.
Or 1 or 2 tough teams.
Exactly. So it's very difficult. But that's credit to Enrique because he's managed to get this team from. I know they had a bit of an iffy game at Villa Park, but they've hit the right level at the right time as well. And I thought that performance yesterday was outstanding in the final. That's their performance of the Champions League.
Yeah,
without a doubt. And they made a very good team look quite average, if I'm honest. They weren't in the game.
The big thing though, watching that team as well. So let's touch on that. Enrique, obviously
Yeah,
the emotional side of it
yeah.
with his with the daughter he lost, 9 years old.
The tifo
So
was a nice touch, wasn't it?
the tifo a very nice touch. The t-shirt at the end. I mean,
Yeah,
but where does he rank? Is he? I mean, we talk coaches, and for me, there's different levels, right? You've got the elite, which is the elite of the elite.
yeah,
You've got the next level down, which is the excellent coaches, but not quite the elite of the elite. Then
yeah.
you've got the very good coaches. You've got good, and then you've got the ones that, seasoned professionals, been there for many years and done the job and
Journeyman.
do a job. Where does Enrique fit in with all that now?
In history or now?
Well, when you're looking at it now, is it where are you putting him with
Well,
those
right now,
categories? Is he in the elite or is he in the just below him or?
well, I think he's got to be in the elite. He's won two Champions Leagues with two different teams, and the football they played, and also what makes it even more special is he's the first manager to win it for PSG.
Yeah.
That's another thing. I know Barcelona already had a good side, or over that period of time, but he's the first ever manager to win it for PSG.
And
He's
who else? Who else, in your opinion, if you were going to throw out three, four more names in that elite bracket,
right now.
well, generally in the last sort of 20, 30 years, modern football, 20, 30, 40
He,
years.
obviously Pep, Jose Mourinho, obviously Ancelotti, without a doubt. Um, I think Klopp would have been. I know his record doesn't suggest it so much because it's just one Champions League, but I think he's been one of the best. The last 20,
Fergie,
30.
no doubt, being
Oh
those
yeah, well, without a doubt, Alex Ferguson.
elite.
If you're talking about Wenger, we're talking about domestic football, really, aren't we? No, let's be honest, it's not a crack, but never done anything in Europe. I know they reached the final, but they lost, and
There's,
they did.
I hope we're not
But
going down. I hope we're not going down the Arsenal path.
no, 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 no. But I mean, a lot of people, when you talk about English football, his name comes up. But we're talking about world football here. Um, there must be someone else I've missed out for sure.
I think we've covered off a lot of the elites, and I think when you
Conte?
look
Nah, he's not won
for
the
me,
Champions
when you
League.
look at the just belows, is that where we're talking like Conte, Tuchel? Are we talking these kind of
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
names and
Yeah, I think so.
brackets in that? And
Yeah, I think
uh,
so. But I think the absolute elite is obviously,
Allegri's.
yeah, Allegri as well. I was thinking back to people the likes of Marcello Lippi, maybe Van Gaal for what he did in the early days with the Ajax and Barcelona and Bayern.
And where are you
Uh,
putting Hodgson?
you're joking, right?
I am joking.
With Hodgson, all I'm thinking about is that defeat against Iceland with England. That's enough.
Okay. Um, this PSG team.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I know a lot of the show's going to centre around that, but it's one of the biggest games. It's obviously the one
Well,
that closes the season, the almost a finale to the season. This PSG, can they go on to? Can you see them winning it two or three times in the next 5 years?
yeah, of course, because it's a young team.
You think
It's a
they
young
can?
side. Yeah, I do. There's no reason why they can't. They're a club which has obviously got great financial backing as well. So if they need to add to what they've got the financial means to do that. They're not a club where, even though it's their first Champions League, for example, win, they're not going to be ripped apart by the big sides like Real Madrid or Barcelona. I don't think they could tempt any of their players to go financially. That's not going to happen. So, like I said, with the young players they've got, it looks like a team is emerging and they could dominate. If
But
they
you
get
know
it
that
right, they have to stay hungry because
we,
obviously the French league, like we said, it's not the highest level of football, is it? So obviously these players have to stay hungry and want to
others are
play.
coming next season. Man City, we've been naive to think they're not coming back. Liverpool,
Yeah,
there's a
they will
chance
be.
they're going to be there. That's English teams. Bayern Munich are going to no doubt mount a challenge and looking to spend some money from my understanding there. Real
Yeah,
Madrid, Barcelona. The challenges are going to be everywhere.
and
So
rightly so.
to win something two, three times
But
it's
with those
tough,
teams,
right?
I think with those teams you've mentioned, other than Barcelona, well, Liverpool got settled side as well. But listen, they're going to need to add to what they've got as well. And again, let's see what Klopp can do in Europe. Not Klopp, sorry, Slot. See what he can do in Europe. Yeah. Man City will come again. Bayern Munich's always there. Real Madrid, obviously. But the difference is, for me, with PSG, they've got a settled side. The foundation there is built. They've got it now. It's come together. They've put in an emphatic performance, won the Champions League 5-0 against a very good Inter Milan side, even though you wouldn't think so watching yesterday. But so I think this team is set up. Yeah, the others, they will be back, but there's a lot of ifs and maybes about them. But this team's there. This team's there. Why can't they dominate? They've got the foundation there to do so. It's like I said, whether they can remain hungry, grounded, whether Enrique will remain there for the next 5 years, whether he could keep them on side, then why not?
He strikes me
Honestly,
as a sort of coach that would keep them grounded and,
yeah, I think they'd have to be, otherwise
yeah,
he'll replace. But that's the only question marks I think against them. But as a team,
yeah.
they've got it there, and they didn't show many weaknesses yesterday. Be very hard to find any. So, but obviously every team can improve. So players who will come in and do come into that side, they'd have to be better than what they've got as well. So no, I think they're set up very nicely for the next
Agreed.
few years.
Fabulous team there.
Yeah.
Let's move on to right. One thing we didn't cover off in the last show, which I feel I want to go back and cover because I think it's only fair. We
Okay.
didn't really talk about Palace's achievements.
Oh, we didn't. No, that was unfair.
And I think that was a bit unfair. We spoke obviously about Newcastle. We spoke about some other teams,
Yeah.
Tottenham, United. We didn't speak about Palace. And what what job has that guy done, Paul Glasner?
Outstanding. He came in last season and he finished the season really strongly after Hodgson. And everyone thought, wow, this guy, look what he's doing here. And they started this season quite poorly.
Not great. Yeah, it wasn't a good
Yeah.
start, was it?
No, and people started to doubt him. But boy, he's shown them what he can do. And he's put together a really, really exciting side there. And the thing is, what we have to remember as well, they lost Elise, outstanding player. He's
Did
gone. He went to Bayern. And if you look at their front three, Mateta, obviously the number 9, and you got Eze, and you got Zar as well. That's pace, power, explosive, especially on the counter attacks. I actually like to watch that. I find that quite exciting. But
a lot of counter
fantastic.
football though, isn't it? Like with them, but can they keep these players?
Um,
Can they keep him?
well, I think that's the bigger question, because with these clubs now, they're not as desperate for the money as years gone by. So it will take a lot of money to prize an Eze away, for example. It's not one of those where Liverpool or even like especially United in their situation at the moment can just look at him and say, do you know what, we'll just take him off Palace, offer him a bit. It don't work like that anymore. So
Tottenham, I heard they were sniffing around.
yeah, but it'll take a big offer. It'll take a big offer. So whether they could keep these players or not is who knows? But they won't be giving them away. Put it that way. But with the manager, that's the bigger one. Do you keep, because you mentioned Tottenham. I think you mentioned him with regards to Eze.
Yeah.
I've read rumours. Don't know how true they are. Or sorry, read reports. Don't know how true they are that Spurs are looking at him, Glasner. So yeah, who knows? Who knows? So I think that's the bigger thing.
But to win the FA Cup, what a great achievement. All right, there was that big talking point with the handball.
Yeah.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
should have been off, right? The keeper.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it should have been off. It
I
should have
mean,
been off.
it's
Big error.
and that'll be that'll no doubt in our future shows VAR. I'm sure we're gonna I,
Oh gosh, yeah.
I've got a feeling that'll feature quite a few times. But
Can you imagine
yeah,
that?
I just wanted to cover that off because I know we didn't give Glasner the praise or the a mention in the last show.
Yeah, and we were talking
And
about. Did you ask the surprise team or maybe the best manager?
we were talking about maybe the surprise package team, yeah, and we
Yeah,
spoke about
we never
Bournemouth
mentioned
and
him, did we?
Forest and
We never
Palace.
mentioned.
No.
Yeah, we didn't mention him, which was very unfair. I think he's definitely in that category of the managers who have done the best this season in the Premier League.
Okay. One thing I want to look at today before we wrap the show up for the week, Banjo.
Yeah.
Let's look at some of these potential transfer rumours
Okay.
milling around at the moment. So, Cunha, done deal? United?
I think that's a done deal now. Yeah, it's been announced. Yeah, it's,
Announced on Sunday, I think, wasn't it? Or
yeah,
it was an
yes,
announcement on Sunday about
yeah,
that.
62.5 million pounds.
Okay.
The release clause in his contract. United have met that, and Cunha's off to Old Trafford. So
Why were no other teams in for that one?
that's a big question. I don't know, or maybe he set his mind up that he's going to United. I think he was a boyhood United fan, genuinely. Um, no, I think he was
The things
genuinely.
these players say these days, right? They
Yeah,
support
but I
different
think it
teams.
came out
It,
before.
it was a
Um,
Wolves fan 2 years ago.
but look, I don't know. I don't know. All I know is United winning. He agreed. They
Are
paid the release.
you happy?
Yeah, I am. I think he's got something about him. Maybe a little bit of arrogance, which United's lacking a little bit. I think at the moment. Um, I'm happy about him. He's a player. Wolves play the same system as Zamarin. So he'll just probably be asked to fit in and do exactly what he does at Wolves.
Will he be able to displace Hoyland there?
Who knows? But this is
Bear in mind, I think you could displace him right now. But anyway,
well, Hoyland's going to be playing in the number 9. I think from what the understanding is, Cunha will be
the
playing
number
slightly
nine where? At United or
I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully not. No, I don't know. But as a United fan, I find it very difficult to get excited about transfers. I've seen so-called superstars come and go and whatever, and then it seems to be a bit like Gary Neville says, a bit of a graveyard for players at the moment. So if he comes to United and it doesn't go to plan, that won't surprise me. And
I
that's
think he'll
nothing
do
on the
well
player.
there.
It's just,
I think he's a good player. He's had a good
well,
season. But he's seen the red mist a couple of times and a couple of red cards.
yeah.
But on
Well,
the whole, seems like a really good player. And to be honest with you, from where I'm sitting, better than what you've got.
oh,
So
it's certainly better than what we've got.
you
And the
know,
thing is, his Premier League experience as well. He's got
yeah,
that. And I think that's the road United have to go down now. Got to have proven Premier League players who can do it
yeah.
who can do it in that league and at that level. He was the captain at Wolves as well. So obviously he must have some leadership qualities there as well, which obviously United are crying out for. They might have one or two, but in general, they don't have enough leaders there. So yeah, all in all, I'm pleased. Yeah, I am pleased,
Yeah.
but it's one of those where let's just see what happens.
Delap landed up at Chelsea by the looks.
Yeah, it looks like
Not sure it's been confirmed, but the
yeah,
rumor is Chelsea have won that particular race.
yeah,
Um,
strong reports.
what do you think of that one?
Looks like it's chosen Chelsea, but I can understand that because Chelsea obviously they're in the Champions League next season, and you look around, you look at their team, and I think what they're lacking is that centre forward, like many teams actually, but
We
Chelsea
say
lacking
that,
that centre
but
forward
is
and the goalkeeper.
but that position, it almost seems like I don't know. There's a lot of players over the years that have gone to Chelsea. Is is it the style? Is it the I don't know what it is. Why don't none of them work? And I'm going back from Fernando Torres days
Yeah, Shevchenko.
to Shevchenko to Nkunku in more recent times
Yeah.
to well Nkunku. I mean, they signed him. He was a lad, came over, big reputation. Apparently, reading some things, he was Liverpool's choice actually, but it was Klopp that pushed for Darwin Núñez. But
All right.
Nkunku was a man the club had identified numbers wise,
Yeah.
stats wise, to lead the line. finish it and score goals. He's gone to Chelsea for a reasonable whack. Hasn't really worked for him. Nicholas Jackson comes along, which, you know, what what is it? Why can no one do it? Lukaku twice?
Yeah, yeah.
Why can't no one do it there?
I don't know. It's a big question. It's a big question. Um,
Well,
Not
since
many have
Drogba,
worked over the years.
since
Yeah, but
Drogba, right?
even Drogba, but even the time of Drogba or before that with the Mutus and others, there's loads of what's that other one, Kesman, loads of centre forwards, strikers who've gone to Chelsea and it's just not worked out. They've gone there with big reputations. I don't know. Can't be the system because they've changed the system obviously over time with having Contes and then going back to then
Certainly
Mares.
changed the managers over time.
Yeah, exactly. So I couldn't answer that. I don't know. I don't think playing centre forward for Chelsea carries any more weight than anywhere else. Not that I'm aware of. So I'm really, really not sure. But that's the one position. If they can get right and obviously replace, I don't think the goalkeeper's that good, Sanchez. They can replace him as well. The rest is looking pretty strong. It is
You
looking
like
pretty
the
strong.
rest, right?
Sorry.
Caicedo seems to have
Casido's had a
become the
fantastic.
player that they
Yeah,
that they knew they were signing.
yeah, from Brighton. Yeah, of course. He's
Um,
been brilliant.
Cole
So
Palmer,
outstanding the way he
steal of the
played.
century, right? From Man City by the looks, 45 million. What have they nicked
Unbelievable.
him for?
Unbelievable. And the way he played in that Conference League final, second half, was almost it's almost like he was playing with his mates in the park or something. Do you see the way he just decided, yeah, I'm just gonna carry this ball and just take it in out and then just whip this crossing.
But they did
Brilliant.
say it was a £1 billion team playing in that conference final. And I know Chelsea. Sorry to any Chelsea fan listeners out there, but I know that you talk about, oh yeah, we've completed the set with Europe, but you've actually won a trophy that I think a lot of the big teams don't really want to be in. So
Yeah.
they can have that one.
Yeah, I think it's one of those. If you're a big team and you're in that competition, it's off the back of a really poor season.
Yeah. I
Let's
mean,
be honest.
you'd have finished eighth or ninth the season
Yeah.
before, or
Yeah.
wherever it
So
will be
so
to be there.
there's no other way you're qualifying to get into that. So yeah, it
But
doesn't really make
Delap, will he work out there? Do you think? What do you
Um,
see when you see Delap? I mean, he's just been relegated.
yeah,
Um,
I think what works in his favour as well. Of course, he's had a good Premier League season as well in a team that struggled. He's got a he's physically strong. He's very capable in the Premier League in that sense. He 30 million, I understand.
yeah, release clause apparently 30 million.
So in this day and age, it's not a big transfer. That's not a huge transfer. He's young. He's English. Um, there's minimal risk there, I think. Minimal risk. So it's a very sensible transfer. And no doubt that's probably why the other clubs were interested as well. Um, I think he'll do well. I think he'll do well.
Beyond that, Frimpong signed for Liverpool.
Yeah, he's signed.
Um,
How do you feel about
Wirtz,
that?
the saga with Wirtz goes on. No doubt that's Liverpool lowballing
I thought that was
Liverpool.
agreed.
They've gone back and forth, I think, and Liverpool being Liverpool, not willing to pay the price, and it was a high price, about 130 odd million.
Yeah, but that's a lot of money. Come on.
It's a lot of money. I think they're now talking about a player being involved in the deal, not sure who. So
What's your view with him?
words. Oh, if factually, I might be right in saying the German player of the year, 2 years on the spin. Very good player from what I've seen. Good, good speed, good
Where
awareness,
where
good
would he
can
come
score
into the
goals.
side?
Don't know. The rumor I've seen is that Liverpool said they're going to play him through the middle,
What really?
not up front, but through the middle. So
Mm,
suggests to me they're going to play him kind of in that Zoboszlai role, which is high up, just behind the number nine.
yeah.
So yeah, apparently can play off the left too.
Is that what Liverpool needed this season, this summer?
I
You
think
you watch them every other week or every week, so
I think the big thing for Liverpool, Banjo, is they Trent's going.
yeah.
And when we talk Trent's going, you're talking about a man who puts who makes two, three chances a game,
Mm,
leaving the team. It's not the right back. It's not the right back. The right back's not the big thing with Trent leaving because as people pointed out, he's defensively he's not a fantastic right back. Um, but it's just the creativity and the chances and you
yeah,
know and I think that's what they're doing now. They know that they. I think Liverpool know that one player's unlikely to come and make that many chances. So they have to
mm,
find a different way.
different way.
And I think that's what's going on with Frimpong, Wirtz,
Yeah,
people
it's
that
a lot.
can
It's a lot of
attack and
money
make
for a player.
chances.
It's a lot of money for a player in Germany. So many have come over and struggled. Sancho's one. Werner, Timo Werner, another.
Yeah.
So bit of a risk.
Yeah, but it is, and yeah, you're right. When they do come over from Germany, I don't know. Yeah, you're not wrong. Naby Keita was our last one
Yeah,
that came over and flopped. But
it's a lot of
we'll
money. That's what
see.
I'm saying. It's a lot of
It's a
money.
lot of money.
Yeah,
It is, it is. But like I said, we won't be in the top five net spends come the end of the window. It's get your players in, and then you're going to see a load of players going out. I'm pretty sure of that. That's what you're going to see. Shrewd operators. Um, when
yeah,
we look at transfers, so Sane been linked, right? Both North London clubs.
yeah. I like him. Good player. I
Where,
think. I think
who,
if
who,
he
who does he go to? Arsenal or Tottenham?
if he had a choice, I think if he had a choice, he'd be going to Arsenal.
Okay.
Let's be honest. I mean, I know Spurs won the European trophy. They got a nice shiny trophy in their cabinet, but Arsenal the better team. Arsenal still likely to compete from the Premier League for the Premier League next season, and maybe go deep again in the Champions League. So if you're Sane, you'd and if you had a choice between the two teams, I think you'd go to Arsenal. Arsenal got more of a settled side as well, so I'd imagine he'd be coming in on the left hand side ahead of Martinelli.
Is that an
I
upgrade?
Most certainly for me, yeah, definitely. Sane's
Okay.
got great balance. He'll give the team great balance. He's got good physique. He's quick. He's decisive. Um, he's got Premier League experience as well. Played for City.
You did?
Um, so maybe that was a bit too early for him at the time. I'm not sure, but no, if I was Arsenal and they're genuinely in for him, and then he chose to go to Arsenal, um, I'd be quite excited if I was a fan.
Yeah.
I like him for Spurs, yeah. But haven't they got um, um, Kulusevski as well? Kulusevski, sorry.
Kulusevski, yeah, good.
So yeah, so obviously, yeah, obviously Spurs could do with him as well, but I think it's more. I don't know. I think it'll fit in at Arsenal really well.
Yeah. Well, Banjo, thanks for your time.
Thank you. Really enjoyed it once again.
Yeah, time flies when you're having
Big one.
fun, and
Yeah.
it's never a chore when you're talking football either, is it?
No, that's why we do this. That's
Yeah,
why we
it
do this,
is
right?
why we do this. But look, I wanted to say thank you also to the people that listened to our first episode last week. Great response. All feedback's appreciated, by the
Yeah,
way. If there's anything anyone wants to particularly hear on the show or what have you not, just let us know. And
definitely.
we'll put it out there. If anyone's got a question they want to put out there, let us know. We'll address
Yeah,
it.
and
Um,
smash the like buttons if you
and
like it.
smash the like buttons and
Yeah,
follows and likes and tell your friends about it. Bit of
yeah.
light-hearted football talk.
Bit
Thanks,
of fun.
everyone, and take care.
Thank you. Bye, Supa.